Have you ever looked at all the crazy cyber attacks out there and wondered if there's any method to the madness? Well, it turns out there is. The most sophisticated attacks we see today, they aren't just random chaos. Nope, they're structured campaigns, literally run from a playbook. And the secret to stopping them? Well, that lies in having a playbook of your own.
So, what do all these incredibly different modern cyber attacks actually have in common? It's kind of a trick question, to be honest. The real answer isn't about the specifics of any one attack, but it's about a universal way the pros defend against all of them. And that's exactly what we're going to break down today. You know, we're way past the old idea of some lone hacker in a dark basement unleashing a simple computer virus. We are now smack in the middle of an era of highly coordinated, playbook-driven attacks. And to show you what I mean, we're going to look at two really cutting-edge threats that define this new landscape. So first up, let's just dive right into this new age of attacks. We'll start with two of the most sophisticated threats that cybersecurity teams are grappling with right now. The ones that are powered by AI, and the ones that hide inside the places you trust the most. Okay, imagine this. You get an urgent email from your boss. The tone is perfect, it even references that project you were just talking about, and it's asking you to process a payment right away. It feels completely legit. But it's not from your boss. It's from an AI. This, my friends, is what security experts call AI-enhanced phishing. And here's what makes it so different, so much more dangerous than the junk spam you're used to seeing. This isn't about blasting millions of generic emails and hoping one sticks. No, this is about using artificial intelligence to craft the perfect, hyper-personalized message designed to fool one specific, high-value person. So how does it actually work? Well, the AI literally scrapes a person's public writing style from places like LinkedIn or company reports, and it mimics it perfectly. It then uses this to build these custom-made messages that are aimed at what the pros call high-value targets, or HVTs. We're talking executives, people in finance, and the goal? Usually, it's to steal their login credentials or pull off what's called a business email compromise, tricking them into sending money. And the craziest part? These incredibly sophisticated attacks can be built with tools that are publicly available to all of us. All right, on to our second major threat. Now, this one is sneaky because it doesn't come from a suspicious stranger or a weird email. It comes from a direction you're actually trained to trust, your partners and your vendors. This is called a supply chain compromise. So instead of trying to bash down the front door of your company's fortress, attackers find a weaker link in your supply chain, maybe a software vendor or a service provider, and they use their legitimate, trusted access to sort of island hop right into your network. It's basically a Trojan horse, but the horse is a partner you do business with every single day. And these attacks can happen in a few different ways. An attacker might slip some malware into a totally legitimate software update that you then install. Or they could steal a vendor's login credentials. Or, sometimes, they just exploit a partner who has a weaker security setup than you do. The critical takeaway here is this. Your security is only as strong as the security of every single company you do business with. Okay, so we've just looked at two really complex, kind of scary threats. It can feel a little overwhelming, right? But here's the good news. There's a structured way to fight back. It doesn't matter what the attack is, the defense almost always follows a clear playbook. And this is what we call the universal defense framework. So even with all the chaos and panic that happens during an attack, the professional response is anything but chaotic. It's methodical, it's structured, it follows this universal framework. You should think of it like a fire drill, or maybe a playbook for a sports team. It's a set of steps you practice over and over, so that when the alarm finally sounds, you know exactly what to do. And here it is. This 6-step cycle is the core logic behind pretty much every professional cybersecurity defense out there. It all starts with preparation, which happens long before an attack even begins. Then it's about being able to detect an incident and analyze what's going on. The next huge steps are to contain and eradicate the threat. After that, you recover your systems, and finally, the whole cycle closes with lessons learned, so you're even stronger for the next time. It's a loop. Let's just zoom in on one part of this to see how precise the playbook really is. See that fourth step? It has two parts, containment and eradication. Now, they sound similar, but they are critically different. Containment is like the immediate first aid. You're stopping the bleeding, isolating the problem so it can't spread anywhere else. Eradication, that's the surgery. That's when you go in and methodically remove every last trace of the attacker and their malware from your system. And this is where you see the framework's real power. It's universal. So for an AI phishing attack, the playbook says you detect it with alerts on that AI-generated language, and then you contain it by immediately locking the account. For a supply chain attack, you detect suspicious logins from a vendor, and you contain it by disabling that vendor's account right away. See the pattern? The threats are totally different, but the logical steps are the same. It's a flexible blueprint you can use for any crisis.
Now, of all those 6 steps, there's one that's more critical than all the others. It all comes back to the very beginning. The most important phase of responding to an incident happens before an incident ever occurs. It is all about preparation.
This quote from a real professional playbook says it all. You have to perform fire drills. You test your plan with different scenarios, you time your responses, you make sure everyone knows exactly who to call when things go wrong. You really don't want to be exchanging business cards in the middle of a crisis. That preparation is what separates sheer panic from a professional, coordinated response.
Ultimately, cybersecurity defense isn't just about buying a bunch of tools. It's an active, ongoing story that you and your team get to write. The threats, yet they're always going to evolve, and our playbooks will have to change right along with them. But by having a universal framework and by practicing your response, you're not just waiting around for an attack to happen, you're preparing to win.